Welcome to North of the Broad. I'm Robyn Zimmerman. As you know, we bring you our show every month from the beautiful Pat Conroy Literary Center in downtown Beaufort. And we have the executive director once again with us, Jonathan Haupt. Jonathan, good to see you.
You too, Robyn.
Yes, all right. Well, coming up in October would be the 80th birthday of Pat Conroy.
That's right.
And so what we decided to do in this particular segment is talk a little bit about his life.
Sure.
So let's start at the beginning. He was born in Atlanta, and then kind of move through it for us.
Sure. Pat was the oldest of 7 siblings, born in Atlanta, as you say, in 1945. But the family was moved all over the country because Pat's father was one of the most highly decorated Marine Corps fighter pilots of his time, and there was a need for him at different air stations at different times. So when the Conroy family arrived here in Beaufort, Pat was 15, on the cusp of being 16.
Okay.
And by his memory, they had 23 different addresses by that point. He had gone to 10 different schools by the time he was entering the 11th grade. So that's a new school every single year, and that was his upbringing until he arrived here, until the Lowcountry became home for him.
And so then he went to Beaufort High.
Yes.
And the Citadel.
Yes.
Right.
He did both his junior and senior year at Beaufort High, and he went from being this shy, quiet, forgettable kid, he had been everywhere else because he knew he was going to have to move, so what's the point of making friends, to being senior class president, MVP and captain of the basketball team, Mr. Congeniality, best all around, like everything, single thing you could be at Beaufort High, he becomes because of the way this community and that school just embraced him.
That's what I was saying. Why? How did that happen? What changed?
I think he arrived in a place where military families were welcome, and he had 2 years at one school, and that's probably the biggest difference, that there were all these amazing teachers and students there, and Pat actually had enough time, for the first time in his life ever, to connect with them.
Why did he want to be a teacher? Then he became a teacher. Why?
He did. He had these amazing teachers at Beaufort High School. Gene Norris, who was his English teacher, becomes a lifelong mentor and surrogate father figure to Pat. Bill Dufford, his high school principal, also sort of surrogate father figure. And he saw in them men who were devoting themselves to taking care of everybody else's children, to mentoring and caring and educating for the future, for understanding that students become the adults who will take care of the world. And Pat just thought that was an amazing way to live life. And they believed in him. They believed he could do it.
All right. Now, he had 12 books in publication, 2 unfinished manuscripts when he passed.
All 12 of them have something to say about the relationship between teachers and students, mentors and mentees. That is the central thesis of Pat's life, that we owe a debt of gratitude to each other just by virtue of being here. They're all also united in the sense that they're all about the Lowcountry, either Beaufort or Charleston, real or fictional. This place was the protagonist, as we would say, the central character of all of his books. Even the 2 that he was working on when he passed away had connections to the Lowcountry.
And 4 of his books were actually adapted to film: Conrack, The Great Santini, The Lords of Discipline, and The Prince of Tides.
Yes. All books and films about teaching and that relationship too, which is interesting, that those are the 4 that kind of rise to the forefront that people are most familiar with.
In October 2015 was the first literary festival, and he blessed it and wanted it to continue, and here we are 10 years later.
Yeah, that was his 70th birthday party. He was very reluctant at first to the idea of there being a public celebration of him.
Right.
And how fortunate we all are that he embraced that, because none of us knew he was sick. None of us knew it would be his last birthday. And we had this chance to celebrate, not just celebrate him, but celebrate with him at something he was present for. He told me he would be on stage 2, maybe 3 times at most. And then he came to every single thing. If he wasn't on stage, he was in the audience. He just embraced the whole event. It was amazing.
And so what would he think about this fabulous literary center and where we are today, 10 years after his passing?
I think he would be really proud of the work that the center does, because it's not a shrine to Pat Conroy. That he would have hated. It's a teaching center. It's a museum in which we tell his stories in a way that they matter to people of all generations, all ages right now. And the work that we do with students, be those lifelong learners or elementary school students or high school students or our Camp Conroy kids, all of that would mean the world to him.
Right. What do you miss most about Pat?
I miss his kindness. I miss his humor. He was one of the most genuinely funny human beings I've ever met, hilariously funny. And given the life he lived and the dark things that he would write about, sometimes that's surprising to people that he was so good-humored, but I really miss that.
Well, he was kind of like a father to you in respects.
He was a mentor figure
mentor,
to me,
yeah.
and that's encompassing of many roles. And
Yes.
he found me at a time when I didn't even know I needed a mentor.
Right.
And I think through this experience, through 10 years of doing this work, he's still teaching me. I'm still learning from him in the course of running the center.
Well, Jonathan, he'd be very proud.
Thank you. I hope so.
Thank you, and we'll be right back with more North of the Broad. Don't go away.